Have you ever been to the Philippines? It's a small country in Southeast Asia with a lot of islands, great destination to go for vacation, a lot of people, it's very populated with colorful culture. But today I want to talk about the addiction of Filipinos with rice. Every meal we always have rice. It's always been a staple, and I wanted to talk about why and the history of it and also show you our first meal for the week. I hope you enjoy. So hi, hello, good morning. I'm using my back camera. I'm not sure if I'm on frame, but this week's vlog, I am gonna be documenting what does Filipino eats in breakfast. Everybody all around the world has different preferences when it comes to their food that they're eating in their breakfast, or let's just say the first meal of the day. Sometimes people eat between lunch and breakfast, so it's more of like a brunch, but regardless, I'm gonna show you what is the first meal of the day of a usual Filipino family. So I hope you guys enjoy today's vlog. It's going to be a lot of you guys would really relate to some of the foods that we'll be eating, or the foods that we prefer to eat the first meal of the day. So I hope you enjoy. Such a nice day outside. Such a nice day outside. It's actually 8, but look at the sun outside. As usual, I just got out from work and I'll be showing you today's first meal. So the first meal is fried fish and a stir-fried banana heart together with a bunch of rice, like entire plate full of rice. Hi, good morning! Today it's finally Saturday and I'm gonna be filming again what is the first meal of the day. So I wanted to talk about the history of rice, just to include this one since, I don't know, I just wanted to talk about it. As a Filipino, we've always been incorporating rice in all of the meals that we eat. And for meals that we eat that doesn't have any rice on it, we consider that as snacks. And though there are some cases that we wanted to shift from a different diet and somewhat try to, lean over to less carbs, but at the end of the day, we still crave for rice. Rice has been like a staple food for Filipinos because of like our history. We've been colonized by Spain, and especially in the 3200 BC, which is the Malayo-Polynesian era, rice was introduced, and in the Spanish era, friars have actually taught Filipinos to farm, and Philippine agriculture just rose up into its highest peak. So knowing the fact that our season is also sunny and rainy day season, it's just that two season actually. It's either it's too hot or it's too rainy. And because of that, cultivating rice and growing rice here in the Philippines is very easy. Therefore, that's also one of the reasons why rice is very famous here. There are times that rice prices actually increases and decreases. Most of the time, it always increases because of the fact that there's a lot of rice that were exported to different countries because of the mere fact that the Philippines have been producing a lot of rice yearly. And because of the exporting, the Filipinos, especially the farmers that have been doing their best to plant and cultivate rice, have been experiencing, eating the lowest quality of rice instead of getting the highest quality, because of the fact that a lot of big companies really wanted to, export a lot of rice outside the country just to earn more profit. Because of that, there are other alternatives to rice actually, but it's still more leaning on the starch and carbohydrate. And as a Filipino, you're a Filipino if you can't live without rice, and if you always have stews together with your rice. or the usual meal that we go with. So in other countries, I've actually visited Australia, and I noticed that they don't usually eat rice that much, and they do have rice available in their local supermarket. But the thing is, rice is very expensive, and it's just produced in small amount, which is understandable because diet doesn't really rely much on carbohydrates. And what I noticed is that they're more focused on eating greens, vegetables, lean meat, and other options of starch and carbohydrate would be potatoes. But here in the Philippines, we also have kamote or sweet potatoes and potatoes, but we don't really mix those root crops with our food or with our staple food, like with any meat. But what we do is we always make sure to add every meat or vegetables, stir fry or stews or whatever, with rice. And any food that doesn't have rice in it is considered as a snack. Kids are taught that they should finish their rice because it's disrespectful to not eat rice, which is actually, for me, it's quite unhealthy and toxic. But I am very guilty of that because I talk and I speak to my daughter that way because it's like, this is part of Filipino culture. But there's a lot of Filipinos that are also adapting to new diet culture, like ketos. Overall, as a Filipino, rice has always been the #1 choice. Mang Emong's Malunggay Pandesal. So apparently, day 2, our first meal of the day is bread. We call this pandesal. We actually eat this together with our morning coffee. And here in the video, we are stuffing it with pineapple jam, which is one of our favorites. Sometimes I also add peanut butter. And this is like a luxury meal for a normal Filipino family. So as what you see in day 3, we have like a bunch of chicken. The other ones are fried, and the other one is like a adobo version. Now I decided to show you here a clip of the 11 hectares rice field in front of our house because I wanted to talk about more in-depth details about rice and its importance as a Filipino. Now day 4, we have here a eggplant banana salad with some leftovers, barbecue leftovers from last night, as well with 2 plate full of rice. For day 5, we have bread and my favorite, peanut butter. In other countries, butter are just mixed with oatmeal, but here in the Philippines, peanut butter is added to bread. Peanut butter. This one's really creamy. Together with avocados. In Australia, avocados are just used for dippings, for sandwiches, but here avocados are added with milk, and we make them as avocado shake. Favorite. This is my favorite. I also put jam in some of my breads, but this is like my husband's favorite and my daughter's favorite. I don't really eat that much jam because it's too sweet. I love the nutty flavor of the peanut butter. So here in the Philippines, we also have like bread. We eat bread in some of our meals, but it's just considered as a snack because at the end of the day, we still eat together with rice. Hello and good morning. Today is finally Saturday, and I know parang kailan lang. It's been like, I think, a few days before that I've also did a vlog, and it's also the last shift for the week. And today it's finally Saturday, and I hope you guys will have a great weekend. But before we go ahead and jump, I just wanted to talk about, of course, the topic of our vlog today, which is rice. Years ago, rice have always been like, even now, until now, and maybe in the future, it's always going to be like the number one staple food for Filipinos. And I just wanted to talk about like the average person here in the Philippines consume like 150 or more pounds of rice every year. Imagine. And since Filipinos, in our country, there's a lot of poor and homeless people, and the fact that when you eat a lot of carbs, it actually helps you be full for the entire day. That's actually one of the reasons why Filipinos love rice so much. Now, I also wanted to talk about how hard is cultivating and planting rice. It's very hard. It's because aside from the fact that you'll have to make sure that you have a great irrigation, because you need to have a lot of water in it. I'm not a professional when it comes to planting rice, but I do have a friend that which is Kuya or Tatay, the person that we kept visiting on the rice field that is just in front of the apartment, which is the 11 hectares rice field. He's doing it all by himself. He's taking care of it all by himself with the help of few machines as well, right? But going back to the topic, it needs a lot of tender loving care. And there are specific rice here in the Philippines that is very pricey. And as of now, I believe per kilo here in the Philippines cost around 52 pesos to 54 pesos or more. It's very expensive right now, because the price of rice is affected by the gas price and all of the other trinkets of the economy. Okay, you see, in economy, a lot of prices of items that we need every day, even just, unusual things that is being sold in the market is going to increase a little bit if gas price will increase. And then we all know that gas price has been affected by the constant war from Ukraine and Russia, and because of that, there's like a reduce of supply of natural oils and gas, because one of the best countries that have been supporting and exporting natural oils and gas, big proportions of it are coming from Russia, and because of the war, they've stopped providing and exporting their natural oils and gas, which was really affecting the economy all over the world, because the supply and demand, knowing the fact that there's one supplier that actually don't want to release their natural oils and gas into the world, and the economy will definitely suffer. So I know some of the people might actually say that it's not really a big deal because it's just one country, but I tell you, the supply and demand quotation and the process of it, if one number goes missing, it's gonna affect the entire balance. So it's going to be really hard reducing the price of rice moving forward, because Philippines have a lot of debt because of what happened, the pandemic and everything. And also, the price of rice is not solely dependent on oil and gas price, but it's also dependent on how hard it is cultivating and growing rice. There's going to be fertilizers, water for irrigation, manpower, and plus the transportation, which is where oil and gas prices comes in. And the supply and demand as well, because a lot of people have been consuming rice, and there's a great possibility that rice supply could decrease because Filipinos have been exporting rice to other countries as well. So crazy. I think the only way for us to survive is to, of course, be a bit thrifty and not spend too much, and hopefully the government will focus more on giving more job opportunities and increasing the minimum wage, because it's really impossible. It is possible to decrease the price of rice per kilo here in the Philippines, but it's not going to be that easy, because first, it's affected by a lot of the economy. It's not just about the economy of the Philippines, but it's also about the gas prices internationally. So aside from that, taxes, increase the tax. Of course, we've got a lot of debts going on that we have to pay for other countries because of the pandemic, and so on and so forth. I'm not saying this, it's because I I'm saying that there's really no way for us to enjoy the 20 pesos and 19 pesos or 15 pesos rice again. There is, but it's going to be like a very lengthy process, and it's not going to be an easy war. But yeah, nonetheless, I hope you guys enjoyed today's vlog and learned a lot about why Filipinos love rice so much. Well, it's more of like, it has become our culture, and I'm very much proud of it because, to be honest, when I visited Australia before, I didn't realize that rice could be something that I really need in my life, because it has been engraved in my heart that even if I'll be given a chance to live in Australia, I think I'll be buying a lot of rice. And our culture is who we are as a Filipinos. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you have a great day, and I hope you've learned something today. If you wanted to know more about it, like, how the economy works, because it's crazy, a lot of things we have to learn before we actually says screw the government because they've increased the prices of rice. It's not about just the government, but it's also what's happening all around the world. So one fall leads to the other, so it's like a domino effect. I hope it gives you like a little bit of idea. Do your own research, and see you guys in the next vlog. Bye-bye.